All right, so now we get to do one of the really fun parts of starting a crochet project, and that is selecting the yarn that you want to use. Because I now seem to hoard yarn, I have a selection that we're going to choose from today. I'm going to do a Griffendor scarf. So that means red and gold. Here's my selection that I can pick from on the reds. I'm immediately tossing this one out. It's too pink. We've got more purples, and then we've got a matte red, and then we have kind of a satiny, shiny red. I think we're gonna go with satin. I'm gonna set these aside. And now pull in the options I have for, so that's my keeper there. I'm gonna pull in the options I have for the Griffendor gold. I have this yellow-orange. I have a matte, I'm gonna call it matte, there's not a lot of shine to it, yellow. And then I have this shinier, darker yellow. One could say gold, and since we are doing Gryffindor and that's the only one that really seems gold to me, I think we're gonna go this way. So let me move these other two yellows out of the way, and these are my winners for my Gryffindor scarf colors. If you're going to do a Ravenclaw scarf, they are blue and it's supposed to be bronze, but at Disney World I noticed they use gray for that. So Ravenclaw, you could either do blue and bronze or blue and gray. For Hufflepuff, it is yellow and black. And for Slytherin, it would be green and silver, or green and gray, depending on what color yarns you can find. But these are my two Gryffindor colors. This particular type of yarn is called, well here, I have one of the reds that hasn't been opened yet. It's called Karen Simply Soft. You cannot purchase this at Hobby Lobby. You would have to go to, well, this I bought from Joanne Fabric. I know they sell it. And I believe Michaels sells it as well. Both of these are Karen Simply Soft. I can tell just because of the texture and the sheen. If you look on the back of your yarn, oops, upside down, let me flip it over. If you look on the back, you will see, let me pull back so it focuses, focus, focus. There we go. You'll see the number of the yarn. We are using a medium, a 4. That's pretty standard for a lot of crochet projects. Make sure you get that one though. Next to that, it gives you recommended hook sizes. This one, it recommends a 5. We're gonna use a 4, because we can. And it tells you the color, and yeah. It's good to know this information because some projects use more yarn than others. And if you do like me, and you toss away the covers, you will end up with 2, sometimes very similar yarns, and you're not exactly sure, are these the same kind of yarn? We're gonna go with the assumption that they are. Today I pulled the wrapper off the gold yarn. It also was a Karen Simply Soft. The color is gold, and it has a lot number too. That's helpful sometimes because dyeing can be different between one batch and the next, and if you want to have something that's super consistent, try to get all the yarn you're going to use at one go. Overbuy rather than underbuy if it really makes a difference to you. Again, this is a medium. And this tells you what the yarn's made of: acrylic, which means it's plastic, which means it washes well and wears well, and that's okay for us right now. All right, So since I slid this off, it's not going to slide back on easily. You have a couple options. You could tie this to it in some fashion. You could perhaps poke a hole or something and use a rubber band, or probably a hair tie would be better, because then it wouldn't melt, and just affix it to there in between uses, so you know in the future when you're working on a project, what kind of yarn is this? All right, so that's us choosing our yarn. FYI, when you go to a fabric store or a yarn store to choose your yarn, it's always a good idea to have your phone with a little flashlight on it, or take a little flashlight with you, because sometimes the store can be a little dark and yarn looks different. Let me turn off this light. It kind of looks different with different lighting. And it's good to know ahead of time what you're getting into before you purchase it. All right, so go forth, purchase your yarn. For your scarf, I wonder which Hogwarts house you are a part of. Are you a brave Gryffindor, a smarty Slytherin, a kind Hufflepuff, or wait a minute, back up, rewind, a brave Gryffindor, a sly Slytherin, an intelligent Ravenclaw, or a kind, hardworking Hufflepuff? All right, while you're at the fabric store, you're probably going to buy your crochet hooks. And while you're next to the crochet hooks, pick up a small package, of hook markers. I prefer the ones like this that you can lock, so that little tab can fit underneath and lock. If this is outside your price point right now, you can use a bobby pin, or get a little binder clip, and we can start this off inexpensively. And if you decide that you are going to be a crocheter, I highly recommend purchasing some of these. All right, next step, we're going to start crocheting.